opportunity to connect with you this morning. I'm so excited, and so big thank you to the search committee, the Office of Access and Opportunity. I'm just elated to talk about vision and strategy for community engagement. And so for those that have not met, for the most part, I've met everybody here walking in. But again, Michael Way, I go by Mike. Mike is totally fine. I'm here on campus serving as our Senior Associate Director within the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. In that role, I currently serve as Associate Director for our recruitment, access, and community engagement efforts. And so excited to share with you all a little bit about me today. And I'll really go into that here, just a high level overview of what I've been doing as a professional now. 2025 serves as 18 plus years in a profession. It goes by fast when you're having fun and you're doing a job that you're passionate about. And it truly has been that. And so I started out in college access, managing and coordinating programs for federally funded programs called Gear Up. And Gear Up helped me to manage a cohort of over 1,000 students, helping them to matriculate to find themselves in a college. And so working across several school districts, I got a chance to see that, wow, so many great opportunities I can have here by working as an administrator in higher education. That matriculated to an opportunity within that same department that was coordinating the program, which is the Office of Multicultural Student Services at my alma mater, Ferris State University. And so in that role, I got a chance to get abreast of not only our multicultural student access initiatives, student development and retention programs, but also our culture awareness partnerships that we did across the campus with academic affairs and student affairs units. We were positioned in student life, and so within student life, a small unit of about 8 to 10 departments, but we were a family. Ferris State, for those that don't know, is a mid-sized public institution. At the time, it had just over 14,000 students, and so it was big enough, but not too large. And it was a home away from home for me, only 2.5 hours away from my home in Chicago. And so I got a chance to connect with that family and grew as a professional there, working there 10 plus years. And so now I've been at the University of South Carolina since 2019, working in enrollment management. We were in student affairs and then transitioned into enrollment management. That's through the academic affairs umbrella, but in admissions, a fascinating department of experts from so many different populations of serving international students, transfer students, and traditional freshmen, just to name a few. And so I get a chance to right now work with our transfer student efforts and our access and recruitment efforts. And so very excited about that role. I am a first generation college graduate, and I'm proud of that. And I think with a background in business, as a student, I originally wanted to go into business and find myself at some Fortune 500 company. Didn't know which one, but I wanted to make an impact and I wanted to make a difference and I wanted to make some money. But I found that after I graduated my undergrad, actually, it was one of those pieces that I wanted to pursue something I was passionate about. And I got tapped to work in education, and through that, I understood that I can bring my business practices and things that I learned in the undergraduate lens as an administrator there. I started out in the career technical education master's degree program, but I wasn't in love with that. Ended up going back to master's or graduate studies through organizational leadership, learning how to support people and support units. I wanted to prepare myself for leadership, and that's what drew me to that path. And so very excited about the opportunities that I had through that graduate program. As I shared before, I'm a Midwest native of Chicago, Illinois, born and raised on the South Side. But also with roots in Lansing, Michigan, where I moved to stay with my dad for about 1.5 years and found out about Ferris. But then my family, we got married and my wife and I, we stayed in Grand Rapids. And so I was a commuter for about 9 or 10 years. And so these locations and this piece about my college graduate experience, I think is important to understand my foundation and my why. When I led with the presentation of this image, I looked at this image as an open doors. And so I didn't name it at that, but I thought the picture for itself speaks volumes. And I want us to really think about a vision and strategy for community engagement that is truly about open doors and open gates to the institution. For many that I've connected with throughout the state in this work, it has not been that same. It has not felt like an open door. And I've talked to individuals whose family members couldn't walk on this campus, Dr. Torres, and just didn't feel welcome. And so I wanted to jump at that challenge head on, and I've gotten experiences of connecting with the community that has helped me understand as a transplant the importance of the history here of South Carolina, but also the opportunities that we have. And I think that this vision that I'm going to share today will help to understand how we can do that and continue to do it. I think that starting first, we have to be mission driven. And I think our mission for the institution really positions us with a firm foundation of excellence. We want to drive a community and economic impact for the greater good. I'm really big on that piece of having a foundation that's mission driven. What are we doing? What is our direction? We have to have a centered understanding, and everybody has to be on the same page there. At my work at Ferris State University, I got a chance to be a part of several strategic planning initiatives where we got a chance to define that strategy for the way forward, but it always started with the mission. It always starts with the mission. The mission has to be real, it has to be relatable, and it has to be intentional. And so I think that what we have here at the institution is a mission that we are doing great work as it relates to research, scholarship, and service throughout. And what even seeing in research on the website here around community engagement, we have a framework, lenses and categories that we want to gather and we want to promote within our campus units. And so from community-based research, scholarship opportunities, the teaching and learning events that we have and initiatives that we have, but even in the Leadership and Service Center, outreach, service, and volunteerism, and civic learning. I think that this foundation will help us to continue to be mission driven, but to take the university to the next level. I felt that a vision and strategy without this would just be broken bricks on the horseshoe I'm thinking about as I walk through, and that was one of the pieces that I guess when I trip on the brick, I'm really a USC employee, but what I love about it builds character. And I think that we need to have some strong foundational bricks here, and I think that this mission statement helps us with that. And so what vision are we talking about? I thought that it would be important to understand when we talk about a vision and where I would like to see this office go. I really looked at it as both cultivating both academic and co-curricular opportunities that collaboratively execute our institutional and our campus priorities. Those priorities have already been designed, but I think that we're preparing in the environment right now. We have to make some changes. We have to shift some changes. We need to hear and listen from our community's needs that has changed rapidly over the last few years. And so I think a vision for this office is making sure that we're marrying both of those things that we're interested in as a university, but also that the communities that we're looking to partner with, starting with the greater Columbia area and throughout, that is timely, that is relevant, and then that is intentional. And that's something you're going to hear me echo throughout the presentation today. Having representation and partnership in the Columbia area first, I think is important. We have to focus within the neighborhoods and the communities that we're here. This university is planted within that Columbia and greater Columbia or the Midlands area. And I think it's just a great opportunity. Low-hanging fruit, I would say, is that from the school districts to the businesses that we have here in the community and much more. So many opportunities our students are already getting involved in, our faculty are already doing. Let's not recreate the wheel, let's strengthen that. And so this vision allows us to do that. Inside and outside the classroom, this vision allows us to go beyond our horseshoe gates and encourage endeavors that directly and indirectly address community and institutional priorities. And so I love this picture of campus because it starts from campus, but it goes beyond and it looks at the many opportunities that we have here, not only downtown, but throughout the Midlands. So the strategies I wanted to share that are connected to this vision, you see here on the screen, start with empowering current and discovering new shared partnerships. It also continues with maintaining and enhancing our high impact engagement successes. But then also promoting and celebrating our mutually beneficial efforts. I'm a big fan of both and. I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time at an institution. We have to as a large public. And so while we're working in continuous improvement, we need to also focus on celebrating things that are already working here at the university. And so this is where I'm coming from my lens. When you talk about empowering current and discovering new shared partnerships, I see listed here, we know that each of our colleges individually are doing some dynamic work in public health, to education, to arts and sciences, just to name a few. And I think that partnership needs to continue with faculty that are new, but also that are returning to know about these opportunities so they can get involved in them and also create new ones. So starting there, the Leadership and Service Center, I've just been impressed with all the robust opportunities that are there for our students to get involved in, but then also our faculty to get involved in as well. SEAL's office, the Graduation with Leadership Distinction Program, just to name a few. Fraternity and sorority life, we know that rooted in those organizations is volunteerism and community outreach. And so these are partnerships that are right here on campus. I saw noted as well on our website, current partnerships with AmeriCorps, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and United Way of Midlands. And so I would want to investigate and see how do we empower these current partnerships, but also help them to be more successful. Additionally, when I talk about new, I think the new areas that we have for us are role-serving community-based organizations. Within our Office of Undergraduate Admissions, we've just partnered with the STARS Network, which is the Small and Rural Network and Outreach program of institutions that are really pouring into communities, bringing the university there, but also helping bring those students and those families to the university. So I see that as an opportunity for this unit to support. College access programs, as we know with the changing climate right now, we're gonna have to be more collaborative than ever. As a TRIO Upward Bound alum, I'm passionate about making sure programs that are serving low income and first gen students stays, because we're gonna need that. If we know the demography breakdown or demographic breakdown of our state, we know that we're a state that there's a lot of need. And we have a great opportunity to prepare and partner with our current college access programs throughout the state. And then targeted high schools, again, partnering with enrollment and admissions, looking at high schools where that demography is diverse and being intentional on using that to make outreach. We have some great opportunities that we've learned about how to get into the school. As my colleague Jessica says, whether it be in the front door, through the side door, through the back, finding different ways to engage from traditional visits to group visits to campus, to visiting classrooms of students that want to be future professors or be future researchers. And so I think that those are new shared partnerships that I wanted to share that I think will be a part of our strategy of moving forward. With enrollment, I really have appreciated the deep dive that I've had with experience and understanding demographic shifts. And it is very interesting. We're preparing for enrollment clubs, more non-white students graduate from high school than ever before. And so this is real data. But then also with that shift, we need to make sure that our students are college ready, and we need to start young. And so that is a piece that goes beyond admissions. It has to take a collaborative effort with our campus partners to do those robust outreach opportunities. So I wanted to definitely share that importance of empowering current, but also discovering new partnerships. I also wanted to share with you all just about the importance of maintaining and enhancing our high impact engagement successes. And so with SEAL, I've seen graduation with leadership distinction, for example, be very successful for students. I've had students in particular work in our Office of Admissions that have applied through SEAL and graduated with that distinction, because they are talking about they're more than just showing up and helping out, but these are transformative experiences that are helping them for graduation and life after. And so I think empowering graduation with leadership distinction is just one of those opportunities. Service Saturdays is another. And when you talk about U of SC Serves, Service Saturdays, spring break opportunities and beyond, our students are doing some dynamic opportunities that we need to promote, maintain, but also see how we can enhance and tell their stories. And I think telling stories, I think, are important for this work, because that narrative has to be out there for communities to see that, oh, USC is truly invested into this community. Look and see the exhibit A through Z, from videos on social media to news reports and news releases. This is an opportunity I think we can do excellent work with. I think even, we talk about rural and STEM education, our academic partners that are doing work throughout the community. We want to support that work because that's passion work. I mean, we have to be, as an institution, I think it's our obligation. I think it's our obligation to be in the community and to support the community's needs and those priorities. And a lot of our rural areas don't have internet, don't have access to healthy foods. And so how do we help support them? Education, I can go down the list, the different access points that I've learned. And so how do we partner and continue to enhance those efforts? I shared an example here of a picture from our Summer Seniors program. And for those that don't know, it's a residential program for high achieving seniors. And we partner with the Center for Civil Rights. And you see here Civil Rights History and Research, for them to get a chance to learn about their history, learn about Black excellence and the state of South Carolina. And for many of the students, this was their first time. They had learned about their history, and it was the most important, I would say it was a big highlight to their experience of the program. And so how do we continue to partner with that exhibit and that center to take this story throughout the community, throughout the state, but also when students are here on campus, they walk through the library and they get a chance to see these areas and these different pieces that are on campus that the center is cultivating. And as we talked about a little bit earlier, this robust presentation and application for Carnegie classification. I have a newfound respect for the work that you are doing, but it is an immersive piece that looking at how do we look at our outcomes, and I think that having mission driven, but then also data driven, data that drives our decisions, but also we can chronicle that for these type of reports will help us to be successful. USC is one of 40 universities that has this designation, and I know it's been some years according to what I was able to see since we've been able to get it, but I think we're in good position to do so because we're doing the work. We want to be able to chronicle work and share that. And so this is where my mindset is going with this strategy of maintaining and enhancing high impact engagement successes. And then we have here promoting and celebrating our mutually beneficial efforts. And so I think that as a programmer, I think one of the pieces that I've enjoyed doing is bringing folks together, and I'm bringing those opportunities together. And I think we have an opportunity, for example, this one example here first, Community Engagement Summit. And I think Summit, think tank, something along the lines that allows us to celebrate successful community engagement efforts that we're doing in the community, that invites the community to come see, but also participate in that. I think is a great opportunity to promote innovation and to promote impact. I think this will be a good opportunity to partner with many of the departments that are here around the table for that effort, and really just to learn and to network being the focus of that summit. And so this could be an in-person engagement that we offer here on campus. I think also strategic conversations that are in action. As folks are doing and promoting and coordinating said outreach opportunities, how can we be intentional in our office of conversing and connecting with those faculty members and those students and those staff members that are in the community to learn, but also to make sure that they're getting the supports that they need as they're executing said outreach efforts. And so I think that this can be done in twofold, hybrid, which could be in person or virtual. I currently chair our College Access Advisory Council with the Office of Undergraduate Admissions, and over 24 partners from high schools throughout the state, community-based organizations, just to name a few. And we just met last week for our spring meeting, and just being able to have the pulse, bless you, being able to have the pulse of what's going on. You need to be able to have a pulse of what's going on, so we're preparing and we're adding value to the experience. We're sharing with them resources that we can to help their students be prepared for college. And so I think having that in place, whether that be a council or just series of intentional strategic conversations, I think will help us to promote and celebrate our efforts. The website also has some great resources, and I think being able to have a web-based portal that is on demand, to whereas if they attended an event or if there was a workshop that was offered that was recorded, right, and it was on demand for people to access, because we're all busy, we're all moving, and everybody has different preferred learning styles, and so we want to make sure we chronicle, we record, and we have that ready for anyone in our community that wants to access how to make impact with community engagement, or where to start, and how to definitely make sure that they're chronicling the information we need for our impact reports. And then lastly here, I wanted to highlight the importance of communication and marketing. And so I think it's important to tell a story. We have to be the owners of our own narrative, or if not, someone else will say, well, I don't know what they're doing. And so I think it's important for us to proactively think about that as a strategy and see how we can partner and be consistent with that. That could be in the form of communications, as I talked about earlier with news releases and social media. It could be a newsletter. It could be somewhere that is visible on the website that doesn't allow for 5 to 6 clicks. And I think that's important for accessibility if we really want the community to be engaged with what we're doing. And so these are just some high level strategies that I have in place, and I think that are important for this work for community engagement. I would say that as I thought about this presentation, and I wanted to be high level as much, but I wanted to know that when you start this role, in a role like this, you got to hit the ground learning, not hit the ground doing. But you need to have a vision and an idea in place to help the office, to collaborate with others that are throughout the campus community, that are in the community, but you also want to not put too much forward, and then you find yourself word vomiting for the most part, of saying what you want to do. And so I was intentional on thinking about our mission-driven piece that we have here. Our foundation is already set. Celebrating and maintain current partnerships, but really challenging us to do both and. How do we promote what we're doing, but also think about some new things? Because the time that we're in right now is the time of a lifetime to collaborate. It can't do this all alone. And so I thank you all for being here and listening for my presentation this morning. And I'd like to open it up for questions.